Alrighty. Alright, testing. Alright. Uh, alright, Rune, so this video is for you. To make a poster, I guess you can just look at my posters for reference. This is like one of my best looking posters. But if you want to go on the easier route, what's it call it? I believe this was the oldest poster I made. Essentially, is let me zoom in here. Essentially, what's it called? It was basically a Roblox screenshot, and nothing too fancy, just some color correction and just some font. I'm gonna close that out. So it's pretty basic. It looks all right, but moving on. This is some of True Blue's posters. I think they're a little more complicated. I guess you're gonna have to get more experience with photo editing softwares. But again, this one I made. Let's call it if it loads up. This looks pretty basic. Again, it's a Roblox screenshot. I just put font on it and called it a day. That's pretty basic. So, that is pretty much the basic film poster if you're really lazy like me. I mean, it looks fine, but it could look a lot better like this one, which actually took some time and effort to make. So, the first thing you want to do is open up GIMP. This is going to take a while. Alright, so this is basically GIMP. Go to View. I think it's View or Tools. Let's call it. There you go. You're going to want the toolbox and then New. And you're going to determine your size. So basically, I usually have it on this pixel size. So this is just the basic poster. And now the second step, you're gonna want to go to Roblox and alright. So basically you want to go to Roblox and take a picture of your characters in game. Now the way I do that, I'm just gonna use some reference. For the really basic posters, you can just take it in game, like no background whatsoever. And that looks decent, but not as good as something else that I could do better with. So to get a good looking poster like this one, I'd say this is like my best poster I worked on. You're gonna want to take it in a solid background so you can edit it in a GIMP. Alright. If my Roblox would open up. Alright, so I'm gonna take this. This is gonna take a while to load up. So I'm just gonna use this as an example. This is just a new poster that I'm gonna make for something. So this is this is not gonna be the final one, but maybe just a prototype. You're basically just gonna. All right, I'm gonna assume that you have fraps. Actually, no, I won't do that. So I'll just take a screenshot, and then I'll save the game real quick. Okay, then save it all, but so not exit. All right. Okay, so once you take a screenshot in Roblox Studio, you're gonna find your files and drag it here. So this looks pretty good for now. So we're gonna, if I could find it, it's one of the, what's it called? So basically, there's gonna be another window where it should be a layer group. If I could find that. All right, Rune, I was lying before. So you're gonna go duplicate your layer, and then you're gonna delete it, and then you're gonna go to layer, transparency, and color to alpha. So now when I change the background color, this should work. Okay, that did not work at all. I'm kidding, that did work at all. I just forgot to press the OK box. So now it's black. But I'm gonna go change that to white again for contrast. Actually, maybe like a gray. Yeah, like gray. That will look nice. And now you can get started with your poster making. So the method that I use for my posters is not with this one, but I used more of a fog effect, and how I got that was a little gradient thing. Okay, Rune, so you're just basically gonna right click and go to add layer mask and go to white. So, and then you're gonna click on this on the make sure you're gonna click on the white thing, and then you're gonna do the gradient thing. And that's basically how you get that little fog effect. So you can just mess around with the colors a bit. I'm gonna go with red, with white, and that's more clear. I'm gonna go change the background color to black, since I'm sticking with the theme here. And then you can go to colors and go to bright and contrast. Don't want to do that, so wait, never mind. Don't go that. So basically you can just change the, what's it call it? Cancel. You're gonna go to the gradient and just mess around. This is like the experimental phase, and then let's call it. Make sure you're clicking on that. Just mess around. But you don't want black as your color because it'll be too black. You're gonna, I guess this is where you can mess around, but this is really your poster, so you can do whatever you want. I'm gonna mess around with the gradient a little. So that looks alright, but what I did with the gunslinger poster with the little deer in the background, you can just like look for stuff on Google Images. Since that's set in the city, I'll just go for city skyline. You gotta go for like a simplistic one. So maybe this. And then You're gonna go show in folder and just drag it in here. Alright, and then you want to do the same process with removing the white. So we're just gonna duplicate layer, and then you're gonna have to want a white background too. So that's somewhere here. White. There we go. And then you're gonna go delete layer, and then layers, transparency, color to alpha, and you can delete that layer. So this is looking all right. Just like with Roblox items, you can scale objects here, so I'm just gonna go with this. And all right. All right, so you're gonna want to scale it up. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. You're gonna want to scale it up, and then you could scale the layer down. And then you're gonna want to repeat the add layer mask and then white, so you can get that fog effect with the gradient. That didn't work out as well, but maybe if I use white, that'll work. So yeah, you can just mess around with colors. This color palette isn't exactly the best, so I'll just probably mess around and see what I can come up with. And then again, alright, blue. Alright, yeah. Make sure you always have the right layer you're trying to affect. So yeah, again, just mess around with the colors, see what you like. And if you don't like any colors, you can always just grayscale it. That's what I did for this poster, since I couldn't decide on a color. So yeah, you can just mess around with the colors, see what you like. This kind of looks ugly, but I'm trying to figure something out. And then you can like go to layers, and then click on the base image with the characters. I'm just gonna go bring up the brightness and contrast. See how that turns out. Now if that doesn't work out, you can always just color balance, or not color balance, but colorize, and you can lower it down, mess around with the colors a bit, and lightness, as I'm trying to hue. I'm trying to brighten up the image if you were understanding me, but you can just mess around, see what happens. That's how I mostly learned how to do this. So cancel. So I'm kind of digging this. So your next step is doing the title, and you want to use these numbers above to determine the distance and all that. Make sure it's centered. So in the middle it's 200 roughly. So it goes from 0 to 400. And I want the title from be 100 to 300. And with the font, you can just search around, look whatever font you like. And I personally like Headliner 45. And I'm going to type out the title. It's a default is going to be at 18, so you can, and sans, so you can just fix that. And that's blue. So make sure it's switched to your font. And you can size up the title. Once you're done with that, just make sure there's no errors. Space it out. And you can choose your color. Again, I'm going for the maroon type look. But I don't know. We're just messing around with colors again, see what you like. And center it. And then you can put, all the cast. Didn't mean to do that. Alright. Down here you can put the cast, director, etc., etc. I spelled that wrong, but okay. Yeah, so that's how I do my posters. I know it's a pretty shit tutorial, but I hope it kind of helped you in what you're doing. Hopefully I'll edit all of the errors in post-production.